Welcome to the Community Health Worker Hybrid Certification course. This video discusses adult learning strategies and learning styles developed around the state of Texas directives as far as competencies for this topic area. As governed by the state of Texas, the learner-centered competencies we will address are ability to share information one-on-one, ability to master information, plan and lead classes, and collect and use information from community people. By the end of this training module, the community health worker will be able to develop lesson plans based on the demographics of the target community, demonstrate delivery of individual and group lesson plans, identify methods, tools, and techniques for assessing concept comprehension and mastery. We will begin by learning about the different learning styles. We will cover visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Here are some characteristics for visual learners. Mind sometimes strays during verbal activities. They observe rather than act or talk. They like to read. They're usually a good speller. They memorize by seeing graphic or pictures. They're not too distractible. They find verbal instruction difficult. They usually have good handwriting. They're really good at remembering faces. They use advanced planning. They tend to like to doodle. They're quiet by nature. They're meticulous, neat in appearance, and they notice details. So now let's take a look at auditory learners. Talks to self out loud, enjoys talking, easily distracted, has difficulty with written directions, likes to be read to, enjoys music, whispers to self while reading, distracted by noise, hums or sings, outgoing by nature, and enjoys listening activities. Last, we have kinesthetic learners. Some characteristics include talks to self out loud, likes physical rewards, in motion most of the time, likes to touch people when talking, taps pencil or foot while studying, enjoys doing activities, reading not a priority, sometimes a poor speller, likes to solve problems by physically working through them, will try new things, outgoing by nature, expresses emotion by physical means, uses hands while talking, dresses for comfort. So let's take a look at learning strategies for the visual learner. Take notes, make pictures, graphs, and charts. Use flashcards and highlight key details. Sit close to the teacher so that you can watch his or her face and gestures. Reading. Use sight words, flashcards, note cards, and experience stories. Don't try to sound words out, but try to remember if the new word or words has words you already know. For example, the systematic has the word system, STEM, and mat within it. You are a look and say learner. Look at the word carefully, then say it. Writing. Jot down ideas as they form in your mind. Outline your ideas. Spelling. See the word, close your eyes. Make a picture, then read from your picture. Mathematics. Visualize the problem. Make pictures or tallies of the problem on scratch paper. Here are some learning strategies for the auditory learner. Say aloud the information to be learned. Have someone read the information to you. Read it into a tape recorder and replay it. Read your work out loud. Summarize what you have read on tape. Writing. Plan each sentence you want to write by saying it out loud or silently in your head. Say each sentence several times. Spelling. Listen to the spelling of the word. Say the word, then say each letter out loud. Mathematics. Learn math while saying the concept, fact, theorem, etc. out loud. Explain math problems, concepts, facts to yourself, relating the information out loud. Last, let's take a look at the learning strategies for kinesthetic learners. Keep your desk clear of distracting objects. Reading. Cover the page you're not reading. If you are distracted by noise, turn off the radio, wear earplugs, or wear an earphone in the learning center to block out the noise. If you want the sound, listen to soft music. Divide your work into short study sessions. Get a timer. After 20 minutes or when a task is completed, give yourself a reward, a cookie, a walk around the block, listen to one song, etc. Sit as close to the teacher as possible or sit in the center of the room by quiet students. When studying, use a multisensory approach, hearing, seeing, touching, and doing as much as possible. Bloom's taxonomy. If you know where you stand, it's easier to make progress when you are learning. Taxonomy is a form of classification. This is yet another way for you to choose a strategy for helping adults to learn. Bloom's taxonomy originated in the 1950s and classified human learning cognitive, the knowing, affective, feelings, and doing kinesthetic tactile. The taxonomies or classifications deal with the different forms of human learning and began with the simplest functions and continue to more complex functions. Two students of Bloom's revised the original taxonomy to look like. First, we have remember, observation and recall information. Remembering is using memory to produce definitions, facts, or lists, or recite or retrieve material. Simple action verbs: define, describe, identify, label, locate, match, name. Understand information, constructing meaning from different types of function in written or picture form. Activities include interpreting, classifying, summarizing, inferring, comparing, and explaining. Sample action verbs include arrange, associate, clarify, conclude, and discuss. Apply. Use information. Carrying out or using a procedure through execution or implementation. Activities include content used through products like models, presentations, interviews, or simulations. Sample action verbs: apply, classify, chart, compute, deliver. Analyze, seeing patterns. Organization of parts, recognition of hidden meanings, identification of components. Activities include create spreadsheets, surveys, charts, diagrams, and graphics. Sample action verbs: analyze, separate, order, explain, connect, classify, arrange, divide, compare, select, explain, and infer. Evaluate, justify decisions, making judgments based on criteria and standards through checking and critiquing. Activities, critiques, recommendations, and reports are some of the products that can be created to demonstrate the process of evaluation. Sample action verbs include assess, choose, compare, criticize, critique, and measure. Create, generate new ideas, putting elements together to form a coherent or functional whole. Reorganizing elements into a new pattern or structure through generating, planning, or producing. Activities include put parts together in a new way or synthesize parts into something new and different, a new form or product. Sample action verbs include formation of a hypothesis, case studies, problem-solving activities, development plans. Bloom's taxonomy is one option for considering how adults learn and a way to approach the teaching of adults. In this video, we covered learning styles, strategies for different learning styles, and Bloom's taxonomy. Place everything you learned today into your teaching skills toolbox. By the end of this training module, the community health worker will be able to develop lesson plans based on the demographics of the target community, demonstrate delivery of individual and group lesson plans, identify methods, tools, and techniques for assessing concept comprehension and mastery. As governed by the state of Texas, the learner-centered competencies we will address in this module are ability to share information one-on-one, ability to master information, plan and lead classes, and collect and use information from community people.